What is going on, guys? WWE 2K20. This is 2K22, but we're talking about 23 in AEW, and I'm telling you, I don't think the AEW is going to be able to keep up with 2K23, as in from the standpoint of how good the game is. I just don't think they're going to keep up. I think WWE 2K is going to be an overall much better game, and the obvious thing is because they have a lot of experience, and I know, they flopped on 2K20 or whatnot, but, with the War Games entering WWE 2K23 and just the overall realism of the game, I feel like 2K23 is just going to be a better game. And I know people are saying that the AEW is like No Mercy, and that was like a huge fan favorite back then, and I understand that, but this gameplay engine is definitely not bad. I mean, if I remember correctly, the No Mercy you had more moves you can do. Like, the problem here is you can only do one submission move from each position. So they're lacking in that, and one Irish whip grapple move, and so they are lacking on that. Now, 2K23 may fix that. I don't know, because I know they are changing a couple things with not the control buttons, but I know they're adding like finisher situations or positions, like springboard finishers. They're gonna add that to the game, and I'm sure they're gonna add a couple more stuff too. But as far as I know, the controls are pretty much gonna be the same for the most part. But yeah, I think this game here, or 2K23, is going to be an overall better game. Now, what does AEW have thus far that we know about that is actually better? Well, as far as those mini games, I don't think that's going to draw a lot of, I don't think that's going to help the game much. I feel like they should have left that out. It just looks, I could be wrong. Maybe people are going to like that, but I think that's something they should not have put their focus and their resources into. That's just my opinion. Maybe other people will feel different. I don't know. But I personally feel like adding that is, I don't want to say a mistake, but I think it's kind of a waste of time. I mean, it can't help or it can't help the game. I mean, I'm sorry, it can't hurt the game to have it in there. If you don't like it, you just don't use it. But I personally think that the modes that they're gonna have in the game are not enough to make it a better overall game than WWE 2K23. Now, Ukes is a very good wrestling game developer. I do understand that. And I know the players aren't going to look as realistic in AEW. That's not really the issue. They do have intergender matches, which is good. It's definitely a good thing. I mean, I like that. I look forward to that type of stuff. But intergender matches are not necessarily something that I care that much about. I mean, to be honest, if they had intergender matches in this, I would do it, every now and then. I wouldn't do it that often. It would be like a rare kind of thing. I don't know if that's really that big of a deal for other people. I'm sure there's some people that would do it a lot more often than that, and I'm sure there's some people that might think that it's a big deal for them, and that's fine, because it is good to have that option in there, and I think it is going to help them a little bit. But I think the AEW game, the selling point is basically the fact that it's different. It's like No Mercy, and I think they're using that as their big selling point, because No Mercy, some people say, is the best wrestling game. I know for that time, it definitely was, for sure. I don't know if it holds up to be better than this. I don't think it's a better game than this, but that's because this game has an unfair advantage as far as when it came out. I mean, that was literally more than 20 years ago when No Mercy came out, so they had a technology and system advantage and console advantage. I mean, this 2K is on consoles that weren't even out yet at that time. So, I mean, it's an unfair advantage to really say that this is better. But some people act as if it holds up and it's still better than this. I don't agree with that. It's definitely not. I mean, it was excellent for its time. And I think it would probably be still fun if I played it today, you know, more than likely. But as far as, yeah, I don't believe that has enough stuff in the game to make it a better overall game is what I'm saying. And I'm talking about the AEW. I don't feel like it's going to have enough in it to make it better than 2K23, especially with the with the War Games. I think that is going to be that is going to help the game a lot. I think there's a lot of people that are looking at that and saying, wow, you know, they are putting that in this game finally. So, and I think there's going to be a lot of people that buy it. Now, as far as will it outsell WWE 2K, if it does, that's not really what this conversation is. This conversation is just overall game quality, like which game is just going to turn out better. I don't think AEW is gonna quite be as good of a game as 2K23. And another thing is, they still don't even have a release date yet. They haven't even announced like all the match types. I mean, you need a lot of really incredible match types. They've already said that the creative player in AEW was going to be pretty limited. I mean, that is already a big deal breaker for some people, I would say. And then you have Create Arena and stuff like that. All that stuff is going to be limited compared to this. And there's a lot of people that really pretty much buy these games just for the creative player aspect of it, or the customization aspect of it. And they're not going to be able to live up to that. So they're already behind with some customers. I mean, some customers are going to see probably heard that it was going to be very limited and said, okay, well, I don't know if I want to mess with it, because some people, like I said, they're pretty much mainly just creators. They like to customize and make stuff, arenas as well as wrestlers. And so those people, you've pretty much already lost them, you know. So there's already some selling point losses for AEW. And the other problem with AEW, they said they're not going to release other games. They're just going to keep building that one. Well, hopefully they do something with, if the creative player is so limited, hopefully they add to what you can do later and kind of change the creative wrestler to make it better in the future, so they ain't so limited. And I'm sure they may have DLC packs to add parts to your wrestler, but when I say details, I'm talking about like what can you do with the wrestlers' faces, body types, hair, attire. And I'm sure they're gonna let you do a lot with the moves, like what you can do is from the standpoint of like move sets. I'm sure they're gonna do a lot with that. I think when they say there's gonna be a lack of detail, I think they're talking about like the way the wrestler's physical appearance. You know, like maybe they're lacking on face, like what type of faces you can use, hair types and stuff like this. I'm pretty sure they're not going to be where this is. Well, I already know that because they've said already that it's going to be a limited experience for creator wrestler. I mean, they mentioned that early. You know, it was a while ago when they even mentioned that, and I'm sure they're going to add more to it before the game comes out, and it's probably going to end up being better than they initially said it was, and that might be why you don't see a release date for it. But I do not believe it's going to live up to 2K. I just think it's going to come up short. And yeah, I mean, give your opinions to me. Put your leave a comment, tell me, because I could be wrong on that. You know, I may play a game and it might just blow me away as far as like, wow, look at this gameplay. This is crazy. You know, and they might just really do some big things, but we really don't know yet. I mean, they've given us some information, but they don't even have a release date. I haven't heard anything new about it for a while. You know, it's almost like they kind of stopped, or maybe I'm just not going to the right sources to see the information, but I'm not seeing anything else about it all of a sudden. I mean, they showed it on the PlayStation Store as coming soon, and they gave some information. You know, they start dropping videos here and there, and then all of a sudden it seemed like it just stopped and a release date never came. I thought for sure they'd have a release date by now. I don't see a release date anywhere for AEW. I think that is not really a good thing, but it could be a good thing because they may not be sure of the release date because they might have decided to add a lot to the game, and that's another theory I have. I think with WWE 2K coming out with war games, and they may be looking at all these features that 2K has, and they may have pushed it back. They may have said, look, you know, if we're going to release a product that's even going to come close to what's out there right now, we got to do a lot more with this product. And they may end up pushing it back further to later this year, which to me, that would be a good thing. I think that might be their best bet. Even if they push it back another 6-7 months, you know, that might be the best thing, because with WWE 2K, with the customization they have, and with the match types that 2K23 is going to offer you, it's going to be tough to live up to that. And that's not even saying that they're even trying to beat 2K. Just to be competitive and have a game that people are going to actually like after playing 2K. Because what it looks like now is 2K is going to be out before that. So they want a product that people are going to actually want to play. Like, okay, people have played WWE 2K23. Now, let's see what we can show them. And if you got something that's coming up very, very short of that, people are going to, you might turn some people off. So they may push it back for that reason. They may have said, look, we got to do a lot more if we're going to really be competitive or have a decent product. We're going to have to do more with our game. And they may end up pushing it back further. And again, they never had a release date to begin with. So technically, would you even call that a pushback? I mean, with no initial release date. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I don't believe AEW is going to be able to deal with 2K unless they push it back another 6-8 months. I think that's the only way they produce a product that can even really compete with WWE 2K23. Again, do you agree, disagree? Leave a comment. Let me know how you feel about the things that I said here.